All right, you ready?
I don't know.
How do you feel about it?
I'm actually, I feel.
Are you more hungover than last week or less hungover?
I feel less because I'm certain I'm still drunk.
This is Byron Lazine and Nicole White, and you are tuned in to episode 45 of The Real Word.
Word up.
You know Tom Toole? I'm going to talk about Tom a lot.
Yeah?
This episode, because I'm coming off a 48-hour stint with Tom.
Oh, gosh.
You know?
Okay.
He said to a group full of about 100 people in Chattanooga, Tennessee, where we were over the weekend, where I was, not you. But,
I'm already falling asleep.
He said to the whole room, he said, Byron, your and Nicole's show, The Real Word, is the best right now in the entire real estate industry.
Wow. Tommy. I mean, that's nice.
He even mentioned you.
What did he say?
By name.
What did he, well,
You know, you've had,
White.
I think you complained about Tom not mentioning you before, so.
Well, that's because when we first started the show, he was throwing out
A question.
He was throwing questions out to Byron.
So Tom Toole from Philly,
Thanks,
big ups
Tom.
to, if you don't know
Nice of
Tom,
him.
look him up. That's Toole with an E at the end. Too. All right. Main topic, Redfin unveils its new
Unveils?
unveils.
Veils?
Ness is my my
Unveils.
writer. She's gonna
It's not unveils. I mean,
gonna-
I'm not a writer, and I know that.
unveils their new estimate tool.
Yeah, it's
So
kind
this
of fun.
is a tool where a seller can get an estimate on their home before they go to market. Obviously, the market's going to tell you what your home's actually worth.
Right.
But this is a tool to get an estimate so that you can figure out where you might want to price your home,
Right.
or if it's the right time to sell.
So they're like stepping it up a notch here because all the other iBuyers that we're seeing, obviously you put something in and they spit back an offer. This situation though is actually putting a lot more work on the actual homeowner, because what it's doing is it's sending the homeowner 25 comparable properties, and then the homeowner is then picking. Really?
Sorry about that.
Wow. And then the homeowner's picking 5 of their favorites, and then they're also adding in all of their updates. I, in my opinion, feel like this would be, I'm curious to see how it goes down. I kind of want to try it because I feel like it's going to be a little misleading to the seller. It's giving the seller almost too much power.
And they have to narrow down to the 5 best one. And so
Right. And they're putting in there's some kitchens that have been updated for 100G, and it really is not that great.
And there's always emotions that get, when you're dealing with the seller directly, there's emotions. You could be literally sitting in a neighborhood where every house looks the same, and there will be a seller that looks you straight in the face and be like, nobody in this entire town has what we have right here. You know that,
I'm
right,
pretty
Nicole?
certain I hear that line
like
every
nobody,
time I sit. Their house is the best.
Like you can go throughout the entire state, Nicole, and you can't find what we have.
Right.
Like you're going to hear that over and over again.
Right.
Despite the fact that every single house in the neighborhood is a 4-bed, 2.5 bath colonial, right? So there's going to be that little bit of emotion, but I think this works really well if a seller is objective about the process and they say, I'm really going to narrow down the 5 best sales, and if they're within the last 6 months, remember an appraisal, my CMA, any market analysis that I do is all an opinion of value.
Right.
And I believe that the seller's opinion of value is just as important and should be should be included in the conversation with the appraiser and the agent. I think that it's a valid data point. I think they know their home really, really well.
Really well.
And I do believe that with all the technology that's here, not coming, but that's here, it's going to get easier and easier for a seller to get down to the number of what their house is worth without an agent, meaning an agent really needs to have value in other places, marketing, the transaction, the process, connecting the dots, the community, that whole thing.
Are you gonna give Vanessa?
Ness.
Yeah.
That's
That's
we got
that's fun.
signals now on The Real Word.
We got like
Ness. Baseball signals.
Because Byron
Baseball-
thinks
it's
that he
postseason
says the
season.
most incredible
I just
things,
said-
and he
I
wants to
just-
make sure that it's captured.
It's that.
And
Let's
it's like,
capture that.
That's.
Nicole will say something now, and then we'll just move on to the Racket. All right.
I think I've already said what I had to say. I think it's great that the homeowner is getting involved in it. It's just going to be super interesting on those that, because they're going to obviously argue like, but I picked 5 of the 25 that you
Right.
gave me, and I gave you the information on the
When you're-
updates that I made,
if they
and
did
you
the
told
Redfin-
me,
yeah.
that like, you're I want to call it the Rensummit. I wonder what
The
it's gonna,
Redfin. No, they don't have a name.
I'm gonna name it the Rensummit.
Yeah.
Your number was this, and now you're telling me it's not. So again, they could be up against something there too when they're actually sitting down with these sellers and giving them real numbers based on what they're seeing. So it'll be interesting. But I think,
if you're a seasoned, experienced agent, that data point that the seller provides, like, hey, I went through this process. Here's what I came up with. All it does is put you on second base to have the conversation to say, hey, these were really 3 good comps that you picked.
Right.
Here's why these 2,
Right.
in my experience, may not be the best comps, and then you work through it from there. So I think it's actually an easy opportunity for an experienced
right.
or knowledgeable. It doesn't have to be an experience. It could be a knowledgeable
I
agent.
think what I love the most about it, though, too, because in most situations, I know which sellers want to sell and which sellers like want to sell. I
that
think
want to sell and then want to get this number, and then they'll sell.
Right. Because obviously, if they're super realistic about the number and pull the right numbers, that those people want to sell
That's a
and
good point.
understand the market. So I think you can also go into that meeting with a completely different strategy based on what comps they pulled, what number they got, based on what you really think it is, because you're going to be obviously arguing 2 very different arguments walking into that.
That's just thing. Can you see the timestamps over there?
Yeah.
That'd be good. Like, I think Nicole had some.
Oh, we're stamping? Now we're time stamping.
We'll talk about that after. All right. Racket number 1.
Ooh, it's always so toasty in here.
Yeah, when you're hungover, it gets toasty
I'm
quick.
not hungover.
Racket number 1.
I'm ready. Which one?
Jay Thompson, formerly of Zillow. Jay just retired maybe a couple of months ago, so congrats on that. But he's already resurfacing back in the real estate industry.
Yeah.
On his blog, which is called nowpondering.com. We'll link it up as always. Jay wants to know, to write or not to write
That is the question.
Zillow hater's guide. Do you think a guy like Jay, who's retired from Zillow, who was an advocate, by the way, on every online portal that you ever went to, whether it was Labcoat, whether it was Inman, no matter where it was just people hating on Zillow. He was community outreach for Zillow for years. He would jump into those comments. He would defend Zillow, often all the way, 50, 60 comments. He would go back and forth in his defense of Zillow, or at times just explaining or providing information. Do you think a guy like Jay, who's now retired, should stay out, or should he produce content like this?
So where I have the hardest problem with all of this, I actually, just reading the article actually just makes me want him to go even deeper into retirement. I'm not going to lie. I'm really sorry.
He stuck up for us in our first Real Word ever.
I love you. My problem here
he
is
reached
he's
out
like,
to us.
he wants our opinion. First of all, I feel like once you ask the opinion, like, don't ask for the opinion, but then he goes on to say that he'd rather have his toes in the sand and blue ocean.
That's a lie, Jay.
And he'll only do it if he gets enough positive. I just feel like if you were just to write it and produce it, people will naturally come. They'll naturally want to hear about it. But now that you're thrown out there that you're at the beach and you'd rather be at the beach than write it, I feel like the whole article's a racket. The topic's a racket. And because of the article,
what I'll say is a racket. You wouldn't have wrote this blog, Jay, if you didn't have the itch to kind of get back in a little bit and want to start talking some real estate. What I'll say is not a racket is you, my friend, voicing your thoughts and opinions in the industry. I've always valued
I want to hear about it. I do, but once the article came out, you're just sort of like,
You throw a wet
whatever.
blanket on you?
Kinda.
I think, Jay, you provide a lot of value. Not to say that you're going to be right 100% of the time. Not to say that we're ever,
Never
right
right.
100% of the time. In fact, we set up this show so that we could just be, kind of in the middle and not be right or wrong. Except for me. I'll be right. 44-0 is the record I'm going for. If this was a debate, But no, Jay, I think I'm looking forward to your blog. I hope you do it.
Yeah, I do too. I do. But
there's a lot, and he goes through
I feel like he needs to take this article down because I got a bad taste in my mouth after I read it. I'm like, meh.
Jay, you've always had a lot of haters, so you know how to deal with them. If Nicole's one of that, which she's not.
I'm not a hater.
You'll know how to deal with that. So I'm looking forward to more content. Love to hear the feedback from you guys. If you think Jay should come back and be writing on Zillow, or are you just simply worn out on Zillow?
I guess I'm kind of curious to hear the topics.
Yeah, I mean, Zestimate certainly is going to be a big topic. People are passionately. I mean, this is why Greg started the whole Stop Zillow thing. They're passionately against the Zestimate, which ties into the main topic. We're talking about Redfin. Everybody's gonna have an estimate tool, guys. This isn't stopping at Zillow. Everybody's gonna have one. They're gonna get better and better. And oh, by the way, those tools online, as we go into deeper into technology, are going to be just as accurate as an agent.
Right. I mean, in all honesty, these things are really more like lead generators than anything else. So
and I think
always
some of
going to
these,
be lead generators.
I just believe some of these tools because Zillow's been around now long enough where you know what most of your neighbors' houses sold for. You don't need the MLS for that information.
Right.
You put another 5-10 years compounding on that. I just think that these tools are going to, I think that agents are going to be using these tools. They're going to get that good. So
some agents might, based on some of their list prices.
All right. Racket number 2.
I love it. Come
on,
say
read
it.
This one?
Nope. You could do it. Do it.
We're going with the craziest realtor confessions of all time.
Oh, but you missed the first line. Vibrator, sex, and death.
That is the name of the article, which we'll link up.
Can you not say it?
This is a Leslie.
You're afraid?
Vibrator, sex, and
there it
death.
is. There it is.
Leslie DeLucia wrote the article.
Probably. Yeah.
I know some peeps in this article. The first one I want to bring up.
Awesome.
I was hanging out with Glenda
Baker. So cool.
Of BHHS this past weekend in Chattanooga. Big ups to Glenda. And big ups to Doug, by the way, who opened up his office.
Wait, where were you again?
Chattanooga.
I don't think people know. Where were you?
Chattanooga.
Right.
Nougat.
Yeah.
Tennessee.
How many times?
A couple more. No hand signals for that one. That's just. So Glenda literally, and I wish I saw the article before I saw you, Glenda. I'm going to see you in another week, so I will be asking the question. Glenda literally sold the wrong house one time.
Yeah, I don't.
And if anybody in the world can pull this off, she's the person that can pull this off.
Well, it sounds like she did. Sounds like the buyer was psyched.
So the buyer was.
In all honesty, though, the buyer didn't go to the house. He didn't do anything. He didn't do a walk. I mean,
did nothing. So bought the house sight unseen in a really fancy area of Atlanta. Buckhead is a super fancy area. So clearly saw value in a neighborhood that maybe was everybody was renovating, that type of thing.
Yeah, it's so confusing.
So they went to the house to do a demo, and Glenda gets involved in a lot of these high-end demo projects for herself and with clients. Mm-hmm. And the buyer says, "This isn't the house I bought."
Yeah, I don't even know how that happens.
And so she is a super agent too. She hops out of the car and sold the deal as if it was a better house, and she says it was, than the one he actually bought.
She had no other choice. I mean, he bought the house. It was his.
He was super psyched, and it sounds like it all worked out for him. So that was interesting. Any of on this list that were interesting to you?
Well, no. I mean, they're all, obviously everyone has a story. I guess I'm trying to, is this a racket? I don't think it's a racket. I think it's just sort of fun to hear agent stories. Do you have a story? Is that why is this why?
Do you have a story?
I don't have a story.
You have nothing?
No, I don't. There was one time, though, it was probably maybe 2 years ago, that we were on, there were like a bunch of, so I was on a different team, obviously, and we decided that we were going to do like a team tour. Like, let's go look at all of our inventory. Let's just like refresh.
Touring the listings.
We were going to be touring all the listings. It was, we took a full day. It was probably the biggest waste of time, but we did it. We went through all the homes as a group. But one house at the very end of the day, we decided, okay, like, let's just skip that house. We're really exhausted, whatever. And it's a good thing that we did, because well, never mind. I don't even know if we can.
You can't do that. You can't go all the way through the story and never mind it.
Yeah,
what happened?
Well, the homeowner had passed away. So, so we would have. It was something, it was kind of like weird. It was sort of one of those like, okay, like, guys, be done. Like, we all at the same time were sort of like, yeah, there was like this. But we didn't walk into the situation.
Well, this is a crazy one here. this lady some divorce and death action. She had a divorcing couple. They couldn't agree on anything. The wife moved out. The husband was still living in the house. The agent got an offer. Obviously, the husband who was living in the house wanted to stay because
he was living in the
he
house.
was living in the house. So the wife clearly wanted to take the offer. A couple weeks went by. You know, you get that offer. You can't get anyone to agree. So the offer's probably dead to some degree or almost dead. Well, then he dies.
She probably cut the gas line.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't get into any investigation here, but the housekeeper finds the dude. He's dead. The agent calls like, hey, you know, after the funeral, we'll talk about what we want to do. And the wife is like, we ain't got to talk. I want to take that offer now. I don't want to lose the offer. I think that's not a racket. I think that's completely legitimate. When you're in a business transaction, folks, you've got to take the emotions out of it.
You do, yeah, but
there are
if it were so easy.
10 or so crazy
sex
realtor
toys
stories
and
confessions. We're going to link that up.
Knocking the boots in a listing.
Here's another fun one, racket number 3.
Okay, what are we on? Oh, gosh. Okay.
He
was texting us all weekend about this.
I texted you one text.
Video. No, it was multiples. You tagged me. You tagged me on Instagram because they were leading up to it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there was a few.
Yeah, they were leading up to it. You're right.
Yes.
They did some hype promotion. This is over 20,000 views. It was only published on October 4th. We're going to link up the YouTube video.
Oh, it's that old? Oh, no, October
4th.
Okay. Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm totally.
20,000 views. The Tim Smith Group in California, clearly Newport Beach. This listing is Newport Beach. A little play on the song Teach Me How to Dougie. They have done a music video for their listing, Teach Me How to Duffy. What I want to know...
We're talking a lot about songs
I know,
for listings, and you think it's the hokiest thing, but all you do is talk about them.
I think it's hokey. I think the other one was hokey. I think that this one's hokey. But I will say... This was one of the first listing videos I've ever seen.
He actually said it was the greatest listing video ever. I have it in a text. We should probably flash that up on the screen.
And I'm going to stick by that, Tim. You've got the greatest listing video ever now of all time.
Of all time.
Now with that.
Of all time?
With that comes a little bit of criticism. I'm going through your YouTube comments and you're catching some heat. You're catching some heat in my office, by the way. Jill thought the video was...
Oh, yeah. She did a side text to me wanting me to agree with her.
She did not like the white boy flavor in the video whatsoever.
So I thought the editing was sick.
I thought the editing was sick.
I really enjoyed... It was probably the last maybe 45 seconds. Oh, it's a 4 minute. So maybe it's the last minute or minute and a half.
Video.
Yeah.
Instead of Teach Me How to Dougie, it's Teach Me How to Duffy.
The editing was sick. The beat is good. I mean, like the words are good. But I guess where I fall down is I feel like it was more of a promotional video than it was a listing video. You got like
smart. Probably got Duffy to sponsor it.
High school kids like partying in a backyard of this home. I'm not so certain that I'd go out and buy the home. I don't know. That's me.
I would imagine the Dougie guy, the artist here, the Teach Me How to Dougie artist, probably made more from Duffy on this promotional listing video than they've made since their last hit single, Teach Me How to Dougie.
I guess I would need to I haven't seen Teach Me How to Dougie
They're
yet.
literally in the video, and Tim has a little cameo towards the end of the video. If you know Tim Smith, he's one of the most powerful luxury brokers in the country. And I love his.
It was fun. It was fun. It was a fun video. I don't think it's going to sell the house, but
no, like anything. Thinking that a listing video.
We talk about it all the time. Yeah, I feel like there wasn't enough of the house.
It's not going to sell the house, but does it get the attention that Tim needs to get the right person through the door? It certainly could do that. There's no debating that.
I want to buy a Duffy though. I mean, I think that was my text back. I'm like, I don't know. All I want is one of these boats. I want a boat.
Never get you off that.
They're like low riders.
Yeah, you'd be on the Duffy all day in the summer.
Or anytime really.
Could you fit your popcorn machine on that Duffy?
Oh well, I'd bring the popcorn machine for you.
I love popcorn.
You do like popcorn.
Any comments, please drop them in the comment feed, whether you're on Facebook right now, IG, YouTube. Certainly subscribe up to YouTube. That's on our One and Company YouTube page, so please do that if you haven't already.
So was this a racket? I think it's a racket.
I think it's not a racket in the sense that he's doing what we all should be doing and getting attention for his seller in some
So
way or
it's
another.
interesting though.
But
that
people
you
are
say
ripping
that
him
because
saying-
I keep on wanting to do like
I'm
music
not
with
saying
you.
yes. You want Nicole wants to do a
I
music
do.
video. I'm not
He
saying
doesn't. You're like, but all
And
we
I
do
think-
every episode we talk
I
about
think the
another
team-
agent doing music.
I think
and
the team. I think the team should do it. I think that I would have to have a really small role in it. I mean, this is my style of video. I can't be fun like that. I just can't do
Well,
it.
you don't like fun.
I can't do it.
You're like allergic to it.
Yeah.
All right. Mark that one down.
Drop us a comment and please subscribe and like it up. We're coming back next week for some more Real Word.
Bye, guys.